here with Miami coach Anthony Noreen ahead of this weekend's series at number 9 Western Michigan, and we'll take some questions.
Coach, another bye week here after a successful weekend going back against Arizona State. So as you went into that bye weekend, maybe the first little bit of adversity for the guys, losing the game Friday night, a close game, tight game all the way through, maybe till the final minute, but then bouncing back very well on Saturday night. How important was that going into the bye weekend to have that response on Saturday night?
Yeah, it was huge. I mean, I think one of the things we've talked about since day one here is the most important thing is not what happens, it's what your response is. Like, you lose a game, what's your response? You win a game, what's your response? You turn a puck over, what's your response? How are you going to react? Like, and that's something we talk about all the time is like, what is your reaction? Like, things are going to happen. It's hockey. Mistakes are going to happen. It's a game, losses are going to happen. Good things are going to happen. We want to know how you're going to react. I think that tells you everything you need to know about a culture and about an individual and a team. So we really liked our reaction on Saturday. We thought we were able to take our Saturday meeting, the information from Friday night, some of it hard, but honest, and we were able to put it into place like we have, pretty much every Saturday so far. Like, it's one thing to be the one putting the meeting together and presenting, and it's another thing for guys to be intentional, to see themselves in the clips, to think through it and to apply it that night. And I thought we did a really good job that night. Great atmosphere, great crowd. Certainly something to draw some energy off of. And, I thought our guys were physical. I thought we were selfless. I thought we competed right till the very end, the last shift, even when it was 5-2. Like, we loved that we played the right way all the way till the last second, which we didn't feel like maybe we necessarily did the night before, and lesson learned. And it's always good to go into a bye week, feeling good about what the result was and the effort you put forth on the last game before it started.
And then you have the bye week. So what was the mindset, the accomplishment that you wanted to get from that? Already we're a little over a month into the season, but you've had 2 weekends of byes.
Yeah, I think it was probably a lot of the same, where it was, hey, let's pick some areas of our game we think we need to tighten up. We need to be better. Let's pick some areas of our game that we really like and pound that home and make sure that we stay tight in those areas. It was, hey, let's stick to the most important thing being our core values and what we celebrate and what our standards are around here. I think it gave us some time for, obviously, you play a weekend like that, like the bumps and bruises and some of the injuries guys have been playing through and some of the guys that maybe been out, gets us a week closer to getting them back. So you're trying to kind of manage all of that while also making sure, hey, this is a time as a staff where maybe we get out and see some recruits and some guys that we've got committed or guys we're looking at. So, it's not like it's an off week. I can tell you that. Like, it's a very intentional week of let's make sure we come out of it feeling rested and prepared and sharper so that we're better going into what's going to be our hardest weekend of the year.
The way that the schedule shook out, a little more on the bye weeks, the 2 bye weeks early on, last year seemed like you had an eternity. You had a little mini off season in the middle of the season and able to get scheduled to be more consistent throughout December and into January. But the way that it shook out this year, you get those 2 early bye weeks. How much has that helped with this developing team, this young team that you've got to be able to take it a step back and look at these things and get healthy, like you said?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been really good. No matter when it comes, I think you could – the spin you put on it and how you take advantage of it is what matters. But I think both bye weeks came at really good times for our group to be able to just kind of reset. Obviously, it's nice going into that weekend of Arizona State. It's nice going to that Saturday night game saying, like, hey, we got nothing to save it for here. We got 2 weeks before our next game, and we'll address whatever issues need to be addressed between now and then, but let's leave everything out on the ice. And I think just, again, any bit of mental, physical reset and as physically demanding of a sport as we play is welcome. But there's also something to be said for when you are in those where it's, five weekends of games in a row, 6 weekends of games in a row. Like, that's when you find out what you're made of too.
Having talked to you, I know you're the type of guy that's ready to look to the next game. You're not going to celebrate much on a past game, but how did it feel to get that first NCHC win last Saturday, now in your second season?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, right? Like, I think maybe for people that follow the program and people outside, like, the fact that it was an NCHC win, like, I don't think our guys really, it didn't matter. Like, it's a game. The puck's dropping. We're playing at home. It's a Saturday night. We have an opportunity to avenge a loss the night before against the same group of guys. Like, that was what mattered, and that was what was important. I bet you if you would have asked, there's probably 24 guys in our room that have no idea that there was a NCH, and like that's good. Like that's good. Like these guys, it wasn't that team that lost, however many games in a row in the NCHC or whatever it is. Like obviously we've got a ton of respect for every team in our league, but like it's a game. It's a hockey game. You strap the equipment on. Doesn't matter who you're playing, where you're playing, conference, non-conference. It matters. And I think you could see in that Saturday night, you could feel how much it mattered to those guys, and that's what it's got to feel like every time we take the ice and we put that uniform on.
Something about Western Michigan's game, they're stingy, they're really physical, their goaltending is really good. How do you kind of keep your guys, really pushing on the offensive side? What do you guys have to do to kind of break through that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just sticking to our core values. It's keeping our high standards. It's, being a little bit patient with our game and knowing that you're on the road in a hostile environment against a really good hockey team. And, sometimes just being in the game and playing it the right way and not thinking, if we don't score in the first minute, or if we don't score in the first 5 minutes, or if we don't score in the first period, like that's okay. We've got to have a patience to our game. We got to have a consistency to our game. And I think that's what, when you look at that team last year, like obviously they were excellent in net. They had some high powered scoring. They had really good special teams, but like that team never felt like they were out of a game. Like they had a real way about them of just like calm, no matter what the score was, calm no matter where they were, and just like, believing in what they did. And I think we've got to have a little bit of that about us too. Like we've been down in games, we've come back. We've been up in games, we've maintained. We've had leads, we've blown them. Like we just need to play our game. We need to play our game. We need to be consistent with that. We need to trust that that's going to lead to us getting opportunities. And then when we get our opportunities, we need to trust that we're going to have the ability to put them in. But I think when you go on the road, like there's got to be a sense of patience, but there's also got to be an elevated sense of like what we're going up against. Like if you're a basketball team and you're going to play University of Florida, or if you're a football team and you're going to play Ohio State, like you better be ready to go when the puck drops. Like in what an opportunity those type of games are. Like not everyone in collegiate sports gets to go play the national champion. So like they're national champions for a reason. Like we need to realize like that needs to be our level of commitment. That needs to be our level of what our practice has been like. And we've talked all week. Like you're going to beat them on Friday night. Like you need to our practice and then our workout and then our next practice and our next workout and everything we do between now and then to even give yourself an opportunity to earn the right to be in a game with them. And I think that's, again, one of the really special things about our league. You could almost say that every weekend, but you're playing the defending national champion, and we felt like throughout the year that was the best team we had played all year, and they got a ton of players back from that group.
You said it, ton of players back, bring back a lot of talent. They bring in some new talent. Obviously, everybody's battling some injuries at this point in the season, but they still have tons of talent up and down the lineup, and the record not probably where they wanted to be as the defending national champions. How hungry are they going to be coming into this, and how do you counteract that and hit them hard early?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why that program's been able to do what they've done. Like they're hungry all the time, and I think very easily you could have said, "Oh, they're coming in to play us last week in the year. Like maybe they're not." Like I don't think they ever missed a second against us of being dialed in and being intense, and that's how you win a national championship. That's how you build a program like that. And again, I think it's you take a little bit from everyone and you learn from that, but they're going to be ready to go. No different. Like, listen, we watched the games against Senator. They were ready to go in those games. They were good in those games. They had the expected goals advantage in both of those games. That's hockey sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't go your way, but they're where they are. They're where they are at as a program for a reason. I don't think records or rankings or anything necessarily say it. Like they're a top end program, so we've got to be ready to go. And like, man, what a great challenge! What a great opportunity for our guys to see where we're at and play a team like this.
And you're going to take it obviously 1 week at a time, but this is a stretch now of 5 or 6 straight weekends, including a trip overseas to Ireland mixed in all this. So what is the path forward with the guys practicing wise? I mean, you haven't had this type of a stretch so far this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why we got to be so focused in just what's right in front of us. It'd be very easy to get into, and then we got this coming up in Ireland, then Denver. Like, what's directly in front of us? Like, we had a good practice today. We had a good workout. Like, let's worry about practice tomorrow and having good travel there and be ready to go on Friday. And I think we just got to keep the focus as narrowed as possible. But I also think it's why, as a program, we've got such a high emphasis on the sports science side and those small little edges we could have. And, of all the things that we've talked about this year and, in these press conferences and post games and things like that, maybe one of the, not maybe, but probably the most underrated thing we've talked about is Gord and Gord Fernell and the job he's done in that role, and how prepared he's had guys physically, how prepared these guys have been, just mentally, and everything that he does with them behind the scenes that doesn't get seen out on that ice, to make sure that they're ready to go when the puck drops, to make sure, every weekend we've played, we felt like our Saturday night third period has been our best period of the year. And that starts way more in that room, the weight room, than it does in our room. So I think Gord's a huge part of that. And obviously we're going to lean on him a lot for, when we travel and how hard we push in practice, or when it's maybe time to pull back. The most important thing is for our guys, they've got to trust we have a plan. And we're trusting Gord, and when we push, you got to give everything we have. Now, maybe one day is going to be a little bit shorter than the other. Maybe a day is going to be longer. Whatever it is, they just need to keep it 100%. And then we've got to do a really good job of making sure we adjust accordingly.
Here with defenseman Michael Phelan ahead of this weekend's series at number 9 Western Michigan, and we'll take some questions.
All right, Michael, freshman year here now, but you're a little over a month into it. So what's this first month been for you, coming in here playing the college hockey and getting off to the start you guys have gotten off to?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been it's not been a tough transition or anything like that. We got a bunch of great older guys, a lot of guys I look up to, and taking pages out of their book. But it's been nothing but great, and obviously we're off to a great start.
And you mentioned the transition maybe not being as tough. What has that been like as far as going from USHL, speed of that level, to coming up here to the college level and kind of getting into it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not that different. The speed's definitely similar, but I have a bunch of great teammates. They're very good players, and we have elite coaching staff. So learning from them and just keeping everything straight.
We're playing in juniors. You're looking towards college hockey probably the whole way, but you're joined now by guys who played major juniors, maybe weren't thinking of that when they signed it with Canadian juniors. And what's it been like to get this new group all together, to kind of different mindsets of guys that went up to Canada or played elsewhere, played in youth sports, and kind of getting together in this locker room?
Yeah, I mean, everyone comes from a different background, different experiences, so it's cool to just share stories and kind of just feed off each other.
You come in here and you've seen the record the previous few years, and obviously you've got to want to help make a change. So what has been that mindset to come in here and help turn this program around?
Yeah, I mean, it starts in practice. Just working hard every day, coming to the rink with a great mindset. Obviously this program was in a tough time in the past, but now we got our guys, we got our coaching staff, and we're looking to take off with everything we got.
How much does try to look at one day at a time, but how much does the success that you've had so far this season demonstrate to you and your teammates the hard work that the coaching system in place, that you guys are in the right place? How much does that reward you?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about consistency. It starts Monday in practice all the way to Thursday, and it falls into the games. So, I mean, good practices lead to good games.
I'm curious, through your first 4 series, what have you learned about your game and this team kind of moving into this next conference series?
Yeah, like I said, I play with a bunch of good players. It makes it easy to adjust and everything like that. We're quick, we're hard, we're heavy. We're just a really hard team to play against.
Western Michigan, obviously the reigning national championship team. What are you looking forward to this weekend, going up there and playing against a team with that kind of pedigree?
Yeah, it's exciting. I think we're a really underrated team, and we're ready to prove people wrong.
Notice that you and some of your fellow freshmen, sometimes freshmen can fall into a trap, sort of, where you see a loose puck up ahead, you maybe pinch up too quickly. You guys have been really disciplined in getting back defensively, not chasing loose pucks, not pinching up too far. What do you attribute that to? Is that instinct? Is that coaching? Is that learning through your history with hockey?
Yeah, it's just maturity. Our freshman class, there's a lot of us, and just from all the older guys, we learn from them, we learn from the coaches. It's kind of just as a whole.
How about your path to get here to play college hockey? Was that always kind of going to be your path moving forward? And kind of, I guess, maybe how did you get to Oxford? What was that whole recruiting process like?
Yeah, obviously my older brother plays at Wisconsin, so I knew from the start that college hockey was my only option. And obviously the coaching staff, the history here, it was a no-brainer to come here.
And you mentioned your brother too, as well, playing in Wisconsin. So what is that kind of relationship like? Did you guys play together much at all outside of like growing up, pond hockey or any of that? What's that kind of relationship like with an older brother also playing college hockey?
Yeah, obviously, I look up to him. He's my role model. But no, I never played with him. I played against him in the United States Hockey League. But other than that, just training in the off season, kind of just those little things.
Two of your teammates you played against in the USHL Championship Series last year. What's that relationship like now that that's all behind you, David Deputy and Chica?
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I knew Deps a little bit before coming here and stuff like that. But they like to rub it in our face. And at the end of the day, we're trying to win a championship here. So.
And one last thing, what about Western Michigan? What do you know about them as far as how you guys are going to attack them? Again, like they said before, defending national champion. And have you heard about going to play up there at Lawson Arena?
Yeah, I heard it's tough, but, it's nothing that we can't handle. We have a great group of guys, and, like I said, we're underrated. We're going to prove them wrong.